time we'll call the June Town Council meeting to order. I'd like to welcome all the visitors. Appreciate the turnout.
I have no idea how to get that right.
First, we'll have a prayer from Reverend Duck, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. Reverend Duck.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Let's pray. Our gracious God, we thank you for your goodness towards us. Thank you for a beautiful day. Thank you for this council. Thank you, Lord, for the agenda that they're going to be working through tonight that will bring a betterment to this community. We just pray your hand of direction and leadership. Bless the staff, all those who work in this community, and bless this town and its people. We just pray for your direction, your leadership, your guidance, and your grace daily. And knowing that when we trust you, you just absolutely do exactly what you say in Romans 8:28. You work all things together for good. So we just put all things in your hands and give you praise. For it's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God,
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you all. Well, we have moved into summertime. And we hope to keep these meetings brief as possible, but that we accomplish all that we are here to do. First item is a public hearing. Property owner is Ms. Denise D'Angelo. Applicant's name is Katrina A. Slagle. Katrina A. Slagle does hereby request a conditional use permit to operate a small private practice serving the community, providing mental health, medication management, counseling, and wellness care by appointment located at 667 Lee Grant Avenue in an existing single-family structure. Tax map identification number 64A5A85. The property is zoned R1, limited residential, and the proposed use is permitted by a conditional use permit.
Yes, a petition before you was heard by the Planning Commission on the 4th of this month and received unanimous approval to forward the case to you for final decision. If you have any additional questions, then I'll answer them.
Is there any public comment to this at this time? Sir, I'll let you speak first.
All right. I didn't see a sign-in sheet.
We'll get you to state your name, your address, and realize you have 3 minutes to speak.
My name is Eric Van Opstel, my wife Dorothy, and we reside at 637 Lee Grant Avenue. I'm here tonight to, just again, as I did to the planning board last week, just state my objections to the residential property being changed to a conditional use. I in no way am opposed to what they're trying to do, establish some, proper care in this community. It's badly needed. But what I am opposed is changing the use of that property to a commercial or to commercial with conditional use. I have one vision that I don't ever want to see in Appomattox, and that's all you need to do is look at Court Street, and you see every residence there is now business. This is just perhaps the beginning on Lee Grant as you go from Church Street west. We lost Virginia Babcock's house. It's now a parking lot. Houses across Church Street from Liberty Baptist have also been purchased by the church. So I see an erosion of available residential units here on Lee Grant. I think this part, Lee Grant from Church beyond Burke going westward, is perhaps showing some of the oldest and finest residential structures that we have here in town. And I'd hate to see that being eroded. Again, I'm not opposed to what's trying to be done. I'm just opposed to where it's being done. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Next. Your name, your address, and you have 3 minutes.
My name is Katrina Slagle. I reside at 365 Charles Drive, Appomattox, Virginia. I'm a psychiatric mental health nurse practitioner, lifelong resident of Appomattox, along with my husband Stan and our 3 children. I began my nursing career as a Nurse Corps officer in the United States Navy, and I've enjoyed 32 years of caring for my community. I've served patients in many settings, including hospitals, clinics, community service boards, public health departments, long-term care facilities, mental health treatment facilities, and in service coordination on the insurance company side of healthcare. Much of my career has been served in leadership roles that ultimately have brought me before you tonight. Frustrated with the lack of access to mental health care services for my patients because of the shortage of mental health care providers, I went back to school so that I could help in meeting this need. My desire is to see people feel better and ultimately well. I have the knowledge, practice management skills, and the confidence to start a small private practice here in Appomattox. I hope that this will further address the unmet mental health needs in our community. 1 in 5 experience a mental health issue. Less than 50% are getting help for that. I'm passionate about helping others to feel well, both mentally and physically, and I'm just as passionate about creating a business that can offer the services necessary to do this. A business that's created out of demand for the services it provides, and one that is sustainable. One that fills a need in our community now and into the future. Virginia recently transformed its behavioral health crisis system into a fully integrated statewide continuum of services based on the Crisis Now model, ensuring that every Virginian in crisis has someone to call, someone to respond, and somewhere to go was the critical element of Governor Youngkin's Right Help, Right Now plan that went into effect in December. Though crisis services is not something that I can offer in a small clinic with business hours, I was selected as a member of the Department of Behavioral Health out of Richmond to serve on the state crisis work group that met for 6 months last summer. The plan that we developed went live in December of 2023. I saw firsthand why the need for these crisis services existed. It's because we're not meeting the need for mental health prior to clients reaching this point of crisis. What I want to do, I'm pretty sure that to my knowledge, the company or the business that I want to start, Aspire Mental Health and Wellness, will be the first full-time mental health clinic ever in the county of Appomattox, staffed not only with a team of licensed professional counselors, but also a psychiatric practitioner with prescriptive authority.
That's your 3 minutes.
If it's okay with you, Mayor, and the rest of the council, I'd be curious to hear the rest of what Ms.
Well,
Slagle has to say.
please carry on.
Thank you.
Can I ask you just, I want to say the name, you said Expire,
Aspire, it's on the sheet, Bailey.
in here, okay. Okay, go ahead.
I thank you for allowing me to continue. I wasn't aware of the time limit. The benefit to having counselors and providers under one roof encourages communication and collaboration, yielding better outcomes for the patient. I have like-minded colleagues who are excited about this, including a psychiatrist who specializes in the treatment of autism. He's already verbally committed to collaborating with my practice for referrals and continuing education and possibly working alongside me. Services offered will be psychiatric evaluation, medication management, psychoeducation, individual counseling, and group therapy. I'd like to do this at 667 Lee Grant Avenue. The space was chosen because after 1 year of riding around in this town looking for a place to do this, I did not give up, but I came short every single time, but didn't decide to give up, but rather become creative. 667 Lee Grant Avenue, the space is attractive. It has excellent parking in the church right in the adjacent parking lot. They're very supportive of the services I want to offer. They see the need in the community. I feel like the location offers some privacy for clients that prefer not to be seen in the goldfish bowl next to Taco Wagon. Other spaces were not an option as they were either too large, too small for growth, rent was too expensive for a startup business, the space was not available, the owner did not want to rent or sell the property, or the place that was for sale had no parking. It was in bad repair and had a hefty price tag to purchase it. I am opening this business late this summer. I've been working on it for a year. It'll be a year next week. A lot goes into opening a private practice, especially a medical practice. The clients will all be seen by appointment only, both in person and via telemedicine. Commercial insurances will all be accepted, as well as Medicare and Medicaid. That's unheard of this day and time with a private practice. Everybody wants cash, in and out, pay me, and I don't want to deal with insurances and what they choose to pay. Our community needs to be able to use their insurance. I want to use my insurance when I see a doctor. So it has created a lengthier process to become credentialed with all of these payers, but that is almost complete. Operating hours will be Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, with occasional weekend and evening sessions initially to meet the needs of the community. Parking, like I said, will be at Liberty Baptist Church. I myself will be able to see 8 patients a day in the beginning. Initial intake appointments in most places are 30 minutes. I'm going to spend an hour to an hour and a half with people. That's part of my reason for wanting to be in private practice and not working for large companies. When my caseload or panel is full and I'm mostly seeing clients in follow-up, I'll be able to handle 12 to 14 in a day. The LPCs, which are licensed professional counselors who've completed at least a 3-year residency, will see no more than 5 patients a day because they have hour-and-a-half long sessions. My short-term goal, in 18 months, it will be myself and 2 LPCs to start this business. At the 18-month mark, we should have full caseloads, and we'll plan to add an additional 2 LPCs and hopefully an additional provider, which would be another nurse practitioner, a PA, or a psychiatrist. We do that when our case panels approach 75% capacity. That would bring us to a team of 6, and at that time, we will have outgrown the space that is provided at 667 Lee Grant. The practice will collaborate with primary care and local counseling offices to improve access to individualized service delivery to members of our community. We will provide free community education and partner with local churches and schools to determine need and interest for the same. Long-term goals: outgrow this space on Lee Grant Avenue, add additional providers dictated by the demand of our community, and either build or rent a larger space. Half of Virginia rural localities do not have enough providers to care for all of those in need. In Appomattox, those who need behavioral health care, you already know, have to drive to Lynchburg. There's anywhere from a 2 to a 6-month to even a 2-year and 2-month waiting list to see certain providers. So why don't you just start up a telemedicine business and forget the headache and the expense and planning commission meetings and town councils and finding a space for your practice? That's what I've been asked. Though telehealth has increased access to care, many prefer not to talk to a computer screen, especially about their mental health. Many providers only offer this option. There are so many benefits to offering in-person appointments, but building a relationship with my clients is one of the biggest to me. Although I will offer telehealth options to stable clients after the first in-person meeting, if that is their desire, I'm old school and I feel that health care of any type is always best done in person. At least 1 in 4 older adults experiences some sort of mental health condition, such as depression or anxiety. Mental health is closely linked to physical health, and the risk of experiencing complications with both mental and physical health at the same time increases with age. Our Medicare recipients, they're not typically too tech savvy, making virtual appointments quite the challenge. Many no longer can or want to drive a long way to an appointment out of town. And our senior citizens are also experiencing loneliness and truly prefer to sit down and have a conversation. Not only do I want to offer the services needed and desired by many, but I too crave in-person connections with people. That leads to job satisfaction. And several of the LPCs that I've spoken with, and the 2 that have committed to this practice, are also desiring in-person office space where we can work together that is in a location that feels safe after the sun goes down and we can see people at night if that works for them. I appreciate your consideration very much on this matter. Do you have any questions?
So in your estimation, this is a temporary spot, anyway?
I hope
you
that it
will
is
grow in.
temporary.
I understand.
There's only 4 offices in this home. While not all of those offices at all times would be in use, because there will be clients that prefer telemedicine, we could share the spaces, and flex them based on, client desires and needs. But ideally, the demand for mental health services is so great, it would not surprise me at 12 months that I'm looking for another place.
Thank you.
Would you like to speak or you have a question? You'd like to speak?
I got to speak.
Okay. State your name and your address, and we'll give you 5 minutes.
I don't need 5 minutes.
Thank you, sir.
My name is Don Jones. I live at 264 Vine Drive, Concord, but I live in Appomattox County, as most of you know. I'm here on behalf of Liberty Baptist Church. I chair the Elder Board at Liberty, and we have already told Ms. Spiegel that we are in agreement with the use of that house for the practice that she wishes to use it for, as long as it stays within the conditional permit that you guys can grant. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Is there anyone else to speak on this matter?
Mayor Connor, you have an email from Mr. Bain.
I'll read this into the record. This is from Brian and Debbie Bain. Dear Mr. Mayor, Katrina Slagle contacted me about a conditional use permit on Lynn Grant Avenue. While we would be against rezoning the property, I told her we would support a conditional use permit for the type of business as she described it. I was pleased that she was concerned about what the neighbors would think. It does seem like a low-impact use. We do caution, however, that too many residential properties have converted to businesses use while commercial property sits empty. The highest and best use of such a property is as a single-family home. While we would support her endeavor, we hope that future conditional use permits for that property will not be automatic. Thank you for sharing our thoughts.
And Mayor, the intent is we're going to close the public hearing and go into discussion.
Yes.
About this. Okay.
There's no further public comment. I'll declare the public hearing closed, and we'll move on to the rest of our business. First item of new business, consideration to approve the conditional use permit presented by Katrina Slagle to allow the operation of a small, by appointment only, mental health practice at 667 Lee Grant Avenue. Deed 6485A85. Who would like to speak to this matter?
Would you like a motion prior to discussion, or can we discuss?
We can discuss.
Okay. Mr. Fowler, let's say Ms. Slagle moves out of the building. Does the conditional use permit stay attached to the property, or is it?
Conditional use permit would just be from Ms. Slagle. If she should close the business and move out, it reverts back to the single family automatically. If somebody else wanted to come in and do something similar or something different that falls into the allowed conditional use permit, it'd be a whole new process, public hearing and everything.
Okay. So that answers the question for me. I share Ms. Slagle's concern and pain as a small business owner here. Finding commercial space or office space of any kind is very difficult, especially if you're not looking to be in a strip mall. So I love Lee Grant Avenue as a historic corridor, and I think we need to preserve it. I think the way we do that is continue to invest through our EDA in potentially helping to develop commercial space for new businesses, develop a medical center on spec. Other localities are doing that and getting tobacco commission money, to do those projects. So I want to preserve the historic resources that we have, but I think in this case the community needs it, and it's not a permanent thing. And I think the council will set that as a goal to not lose our single-family residences.
I will add one additional thing. In the event that there's complaints or this becomes a problem, council can rehear it and revoke the conditional use permit if necessary. So that's just another kind of protection.
The bar would be fairly high. I mean, what would be the recension grounds? And
If parking became an issue, people are not using the lot, trying to park on the street, in the driveway, noise, it could be a gamut of things. It's just another option that you have to pull the applicant back in and have a public hearing to discuss this concern.
Is there a time limit on the conditional use? Or is it as long as the business exists? Oh, it is?
Come back for an extension, or you can do it for 6 months, you come back for an extension, it's really up to the council.
It's really an interesting intersection too, because you have so much R3 around that area, and it's probably just kind of luck of the draw that this corner is R1 anyway.
Gonna change it right away.
In R3, this would be a by right use.
I believe so, yes.
Mayor, I make the motion that we approve the
Well,
conditional use.
can I
permit.
make a comment first?
Yes, ma'am.
Go ahead. It's not so much about the conditional use permit, but
Microphone, please. Microphone, please. Sorry.
I have nothing to hook it to, so I'll hold it to me tonight. As many of you know, or you may not know, I am on the executive board of Horizon Behavioral Health, and I have been since 2008, I believe. And so that's our community service board for this area. We cover 5 communities around us, and no one knows more than the members of that board how important it is, this, as you discussed, for mental health counseling. And in town, we do have some. In fact, Horizon has a small office right down from Elite Fitness. That's who we rent it from. But the need is so great that the appointments are backed up for months. That's the chief complaint with any of these services that are provided in the town. We need more services, and your proposal sounds very, very good. And as long as everything is, the parking, which so graciously the Liberty Baptist Church has agreed to allow that, and it is the house next to, I don't have any problem with it. In fact, I think it's an important thing. I respect your feelings very much, the people who live on that road, to try to keep it residential, and I understand that, but I would approve this conditional use, especially under the terms as our town manager has described. We can always revisit it. But this is a very, very important service, and our community needs it. And that's how I feel.
And I want to chime in. I'm a mental health professional too, so I do this all day, every day, even on the weekends. And it's needed, not only for people with private insurance, but our Medicaid population. Like Mary Lou said, Horizon is backed up. The other providers in town are backed up. It's a need.
A great need.
And I am so excited, and I am thankful that you chose Appomattox and you rode around and you looked for buildings, and that, like Nathan said, maybe we can work on getting those buildings where we can get more businesses. I really am thankful for you.
I think too that a big part of this is that it's conditional
Yeah.
use. So it will revert back when they leave. And if it's a sort of a 12-month stretch there, you're thinking that would work for you. While you're beginning and growing, I think that's not going to be a big problem for you.
Mr. Jones?
Just to solidify the parking issue, 60 days ago, the elders of Liberty Baptist Church approved the use of the parking lot that's directly to the right of the house for her use. We've done that. We did that prior to these hearings so that there would be no issue on the parking.
Thank you, Thank you, Mr.
This is a
Jones.
service that is very, very well needed in, not only in the town, but in the county and the surrounding communities. You will probably have some clients from surrounding areas too.
So, if I were in your shoes, I think I would be getting a little nervous by all of this. We can rescind it whenever we want to talk, especially because this is an election year and you can change whatever you want, a new council. So is there a statutory basis for rescission, or is it literally just a majority vote of the
It would
council?
be a majority vote of council. They would have to be legitimate concerns, like really true violations of the town code. You'd have to go out and investigate if we received a complaint of observation that was the parking being, obeyed. If there's any kind of situation going on that's creating a lot of noise, and then staff would bring it back to you. The public hearing process lets you know this is what's going to occur, this is what's been documented, and then it would be up to you.
And if we approve this, would it just be by the nature of the motion, whether or not there's a timeline or an expiration associated with it?
We would just approve it with a condition that it's for 12 months to be revisited.
Can we just do it in perpetuity or with like a 5-year?
It's totally up to you.
What is the comfortable, where do you think you'll be, I guess?
What's town policy say?
Or I don't,
I don't want to overshare from the owner's perspective, but they did purchase this house not to be a rental property. They have a family member that they're trying to move here. Unfortunately, had some issues arise. So their goal is, long-term, to bring their family member here when they take care of a few other things. So I don't think they had any intention to create a situation. They had hired a contractor to go in and make some ADA updates to it. So this just really all kind of worked out. Ms. Lago's worked with the neighbors that I'm aware of, and also with the county building official, and he's inspected the property, and he's on board with the use.
how about we look at it every 2 years? Make a motion, we approve.
I think your goal is, what, 12 months to move up, and I know that's,
I would love to have a full caseload at 12 months. That means that I can pay my bills and keep the doors open, keep my staff, and serve patients. I don't know exactly what it's going to look like
Okay.
in 12 months.
You have no way of knowing.
so,
I would love to have at least 2 years
okay.
before we revisit it.
Have you got a lease signed with that, or potential lease?
I'm not going to sign a lease.
I understand that.
Give me a head shake.
Have they proposed anything to you
Oh,
in regards to
yes.
that?
Oh,
Okay.
yes.
So,
Mayor, I move that we accept the conditional use permit as presented for a period of 24 months.
I'll second.
motion made and properly seconded. Any further discussion?
Just one, I guess, in this, the spirit of this whole, it is adding to mental health, but it is also economic development. And it's, we should look at, are there any incentives available through the EDA? She didn't have to locate her business here, she chose to. And it really, there's a lot of state-level resources for adaptive reuse of old buildings. We've got probably half a dozen old buildings that we might look at turning into an incubator space for new businesses. And that could prevent tying up single-family residences in the future.
she is on the EDA agenda for tomorrow.
Cool.
She just wasn't aware that she could.
Awesome.
That's exciting.
Thank you, Mr. Simpson. Thank you, Christie. There's no further discussion. Motion on the floor to accept the conditional use permit as stated for a period of 24 months. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. By voice vote, the ayes have it, the motion carries. All righty. Next item on the agenda, consideration to close town offices on July 5th, 2024 to give all town employees a paid day off for employee appreciation.
And I'll
I'll
second
second.
it. I
Jean.
think third, fourth, fifth, and sixth.
Motion made, properly seconded by the rest.
That's wonderful.
Any discussion?
Just one question. July 4th is already a paid holiday,
Yes, sir.
so we're giving them both days off
Yes,
with
sir.
both days' pay.
Yes, sir.
Excellent. They deserve it.
I think with all the challenges we've had, that this staff has performed exceptionally. Don't think this will be a burden on the community, because if they're like the rest of us, they want to be off as well.
I still think we ought to do something, an appreciation.
Oh, we will.
luncheon,
We'll look forward.
And thank them all. They have really gone above and beyond.
Any further discussion?
4-day weekend.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Ayes have it, the motion carries. Next item, adoption of consent agenda. All matters listed under the consent agenda are considered routine by the council and will be approved or received by one motion in form listed. Items may be removed from the consent agenda for discussion under the regular agenda upon motion of any council member and duly seconded. The items on the consent agenda: April 8th budget work session meeting, April 8th regular meeting, April 23rd budget work session, April 23rd workshop meeting, May 7th special call meeting, May 13th regular meeting, May 18th 2024 council retreat, May 28th 2024 workshop meeting. Entertain a motion to adopt.
Second.
Motion made, properly seconded. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. The ayes have it, the motion carries. Unfinished business. Mr. Nathan Harbin was to present drawings for the depot landscape. Mr. Fowler.
Harvard contacted us through by email, and unfortunately, due to health concerns, he's no longer going to be able to finish this project. I think it's best if we regroup and rebid the work. My suggestion would be we look kind of target the landscape companies that have in-house designers who will probably save quite a bit of money in this matter. So council agrees with that. I will pursue the necessary work to get that out there for bid.
What's the estimated price range? I guess, what's the scope of work?
I think if you had RSU to come and design build it.
Yeah, he did a presentation,
Months
I don't
ago.
think he's ever created a drawing.
No.
Have we
He
paid
gave
him
us,
We have paid him for the first part of his work that when he came and presented to you, it was under the scope of that contract. The remaining balance will not be paid and not be billed by him, obviously.
I know he had talked about maybe doing some stuff with the brick and even going on down and planting trees and doing all of Main Street and doing the depot. I think that was his.
And all the
Vision.
existing shrubbery and bushes
Yeah.
around the existing depot, which are ancient and archaic, they'll all have to come up, and new plants and
Yeah.
trees,
Based off where the sun
Yeah.
shines and
everything has to
Yeah.
go, because those are so scraggy and brittle looking.
it would make sense to do the whole
Whole
thing at one
thing.
time to maintain it. That would make sense.
That's what his proposed, that's what we asked him to do.
That's correct.
Disappointed that he's not going to be able to finish, but I understand if he has health issues. I'm just glad he's withdrawn now after several months of wondering what's going on. Because we had hoped to have that work finished when tourist season started. But that's okay, we'll move on.
June 24th was substantial completion and walkthrough
Yeah.
and create a punch list.
And the cameras too. I guess that's stuff right.
Is that downtown revitalization money, or is it general fund money?
No.
No, it was, we were gonna use it as part of the depot money. So, we were tagging it on with the depot.
Okay.
The town ownership of the depot that eliminated us from being eligible to receive downtown revitalization money. We asked, but
Gotcha. How much is left in that budget line?
But for depot,
Yeah, that we could
we've
use.
expended all of it as our own personal. We didn't get any grant for that. Depot came out of original.
Okay, gotcha. So it's, we don't have a line item for the depot project that's
We've
just,
gone over, I know that.
Okay.
Yeah, we do have a line item for depot.
I'd like to see staff get some prices from landscaping to kind of meet the scope of what we have with that and get back with us.
and we've used the landscaping business that we use for the Rose program. They've been very helpful. They might be something you would want to include in request for the bids.
who does the school system use? Is it RSG?
That's who has been working on the Rose program gardens.
If there's already a procured contract and it has defined rates, we might be able to just cooperative procure.
I'll look into that.
I think we're in the middle of a proposal and contract for our new year coming up.
Okay.
So I'm not sure where we are with that though.
Because we want to do it correctly, but correctly meaning who we give our business to. We want to follow the correct procedures, but RSG has proven itself very well in my mind, because I'm the, whatever we're called, chairman or CEO of the Rose program, whatever I'm called. I'm in charge of the Rose program, sort of, kind of.
Do I need a motion to direct you to act?
Kim, can we do that? We need a motion to.
Christie says.
Yeah, not to.
Thank you, Kristen.
Just be like any other bid.
All right. Next item on the agenda, council standing committee reports. Finance,
Nothing tonight.
infrastructure,
Nothing tonight.
ARPA.
Nothing tonight.
Okay. Any citizen comment on any items of concern at this time? Thank you. Town managers report, Mr. Fowler.
Just a couple of follow-ups on my update. Friday, did meet with the public works staff and provide a lunch for them. It went very well. I think it was pretty good feedback. Asked them to think about what they wanted in a public works director, leadership character, that type of thing. Been trying to go down there a couple times a day just to be seen and talk with them. I think we're going to be okay. It's just, it's a lot of change. Jeff was with us for a long time. I think everybody's trying to feel their way through that. We're doing as much as we can do to support them. And I think Tori's doing a really good job. And then also we have Nicole down there, so she's made herself very available if they need to talk to anybody. So that's that. And 5:15, I did receive another proposal for the ADA compliance stuff. I'd like to pass that to you.
Change is never easy, but sometimes it's good change.
Yeah, I think people are looking forward to the opportunities that might be out there for them. did talk with the town attorney today. There was a little bit of a confusion and snag with our property maintenance code. Jeff Brown with the state has been out for a week. I talked with Frank Blake today. And I think we found the solution, so we'll tweak that a little bit and then bring it. I'll probably push that out to you this week just for your review and comment. We might have to make a few little changes. And I am meeting with one of the property owners this Wednesday to discuss the exterior of his building. This is from Architecture Partners.
Yes, sir.
That's right. That's what we'll share with you, some proposals for the town administration for your review.
The accessibility proposals materially all look the same to me, so I would defer to your choice.
Okay.
Can you remind me again what Blair Smith's amount was?
5,000.
5,000?
Yes, ma'am. Baseline. All in, $5,000.
Well, yes,
What's that?
I'm just saying.
Yes, ma'am. $5,000 all in. That's Dominion 7's bid. I have
Yeah.
the documents here if you'd like to see my copy.
I mean,
Thanks.
I think for the work that's being done, 5 to 10 to me seems reasonable, and you're right, Architectural Partners is at the top end of that, but we should probably do this one on a best value basis and not just straight cost.
That was my thinking when I asked
Yeah.
the amount from Dominion 7 as compared to this new bid or proposal. So we need to move forward, that's best. And we all feel that way.
Yeah.
Kim, could we use ARPA money for this, the survey itself?
I would think you could.
I mean, it's
Well-
just sitting there.
We got to use it.
And it's related, directly related to
Yes, ma'am.
the ADA improvements.
Yeah.
That would be part, to me,
Be smart to use it.
these studies would be part and parcel
The town
to
managers.
the improvements we're about to make.
Is that the direction you're in?
Timmy?
Council concur.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As appropriate. At this time, I want to entertain a motion to use ARPA funds to fund the analysis, ADA analysis in the
This.
town hall. Entertain a motion?
I'd structure this, we authorize up to $10,000 of ARPA funding based on who, because I don't think it's appropriate for the council to pick on a bid, but we just direct the town manager to pick up to 10,000. So that's my motion. Authorize up to $10,000 in ARPA funding for this.
I second that.
Motion made, properly seconded, to authorize up to $10,000 in ARPA funding to have the ADA analysis of the town building performed. We'll pause for the train. By roll call vote, Ms. Allen?
Yes.
Mr. Boyce?
Yes.
Mr. Garrett.
Yes.
Ms. Puckett.
Yes.
Mr. Simpson.
Yes.
Ms. Spiegel.
Yes.
By a vote of 6-0, the motion is approved. Anything more, Mr. Fowler?
They did provide staff with the personal site assessment, and we
Yeah.
are going through that, making some corrections if we can. Staff, along with the contractor, is going to make arrangements to get items out of the basement, make those corrections. We are working to get those updated.
Do we have the dehumidifiers in the basement? I think there's two. There's one in that really rusty closet, and there's one up in there in the air. Do we have a maintenance contract with anybody? Okay.
Okay. Next item on the agenda is council comment. We'll start in reverse order. Ms. Spiegel.
I have nothing tonight. I just want to remind everybody that it's a little bit out, but I guess this is the 10th. It's about a month away. We have 4th, what date is it? 4th of July fireworks on July, help me out here. 5th, is it 5th?
No. Is it June 29th or is it July 5th?
June 29th. Everyone is invited, please, please. And of course, Liberty Baptist Church is helping us with this project. And we just want everyone to have a good time. Please come and enjoy the fireworks. That's all.
I can add to that if you need some additional information.
Thank you, sir.
That's all I have.
Mr. Simpson.
Just a couple things. One that's kind of literally a 2-decade-long project that I've brought up before, but I want to start thinking about it, is the Lee Grant is a symptom. It is not a root problem. It was never meant to be a connector route in the town. It evolved when people still literally had horses and carts and things like that. And so I think the solution lies in building a road and working with the county and the state to build a road that basically mirrors the bypass, but much smaller. You're not building an arterial highway, you're just building a connector route between the southern portion, completes like a circle. So it'd be something that I think we could start to look at to keep pressure off of our historic district. And I'd like to see it added to our comprehensive plan, or at least proposed to be added to the comprehensive plan. We'll see if it's even reasonable on a 20-year timeline, and what the land acquisition and things like that would look like. And that brings up the comprehensive plan itself. I don't think we've updated it since 2016 or so, so it's coming around time for that. So might be something, I guess that originates with the Planning Commission.
My understanding that it was updated about 3 or 4 years ago.
That sounds more right.
That's right. That's right.
I saw a version.
2021?
I may have had an old version.
But yes, it will be here before you know it for an update.
So
Typically, how long between plans is it 5 years?
You have to do an update every 5 years.
That's what I thought.
Kind of reevaluate it, kind of
So if that was done in 2021, it's a couple of years away, but still we need to start planning it.
And I think Mr. Elder, before he retired, he had spoken with someone at some point. I think Dave Garrett at some point too. That was 2 decades ago or however long. But there's been some sort of initial planning done on this project a couple different times. And I just don't think it's ever been formalized into a comp plan. So I think we should at least include it in there, and we'll see when it actually gets done. But it's going to take VDOT and the county to do it. We can't do it ourselves.
Not something that big.
Good follow-on topic for the County Board of Supervisors Town Council meeting.
Yep. So that was actually in passing, I brought that up with one of the VDOT guys just as a off-the-cuff idea. And he said there's planning money that VDOT doles out for engineering and just determining feasibility, so it might be something we want to look at. But anyway, that's as we start to look at the comp plan, I'd really appreciate if we would include that or ask the Planning Commission to consider including it. Last meeting you guys asked about, or I brought up, and then you asked me to think about the 100th anniversary. It comes down to why. What is our why? So at the 75th anniversary, there was a big event, and it seemed like, I can only look at it from pictures. I don't even think I was born yet. But it was a big to-do. Jerry Falwell was there. I think the governor showed up. You had you closed down Main Street and had a parade. So if we want to do that, then that is our why, and we'll set it as we want to have a commemorative festival or get together or whatever on Main Street. And we can work backwards from that. And at the 75th, there was a separate nonprofit that sent out mailers. They raised money. They got businesses to cut
Do you remember
checks.
who that was?
Who gave
The
money?
nonprofit, you said the separate.
Yeah, it went by the 75th commemorative anniversary.
Okay.
I don't know. It might have been a mission of the chamber at some point.
Experience Appomattox back there, Mr. Jones, are you listening? You
Or the
might want
Historical
to.
Society. I mean,
Yeah.
there's.
Oh, yeah, the Historical Society may be into that.
We don't
Both,
need to.
I mean, both entities could help us.
That'd be a great idea.
We all join together.
So if we want to plan an event, like a real life shut down streets, get vendors event, we need to start doing that probably like now.
Yesterday.
Or yesterday.
Right. So that's that. I think we all think about it some more between now and maybe the next regularly scheduled meeting, and I'll put it on the agenda and we can talk about it and see what is a reasonable amount of money the town might want to set aside, because that's also a limiting factor. We don't want to spend $150,000 of people's money on this. Let's pick a real number.
And the Historical Society, they would definitely, I know, be helped. Because when I was in that, they wanted to do something as well, so why not just work together?
It could also fit with, we've got half of a train depot that's empty, and one idea that stuck with me that, Timmy, you brought up about a year ago when Buddy Green passed away. You said, these are the stories of the people in Appomattox. Like that, his life was a heck of a story that should be retold. And maybe we could pick notable people or notable businesses or whatever and come up with temporary or permanent exhibits in that part of the museum. It could be an opportunity to create that part of the visitor center or train depot that we're not using. So all interesting ideas. We'll have to continue to flesh it out. The county administrator responded to my email after the last meeting about the joint meeting. We, of course, are not moving forward with the June 11th date, but she is going to ask her board what dates might work further into the summer. Realistically, I don't think anybody's going to push for a July date at this point. It's probably going to be August, September, just because of vacation. So we'll keep on the lookout for that. I don't want to let that one drop. I think we need to have that meeting, so I'm going to keep communicating there.
So that the date is actually up in the air right now.
Still.
Yes.
Yeah, and they're going to discuss, because they all have the
One board member
Schedules.
wouldn't have been able to make the 11th of June, and so we kind of want everybody there. And I think there's also some important pending stuff going on that they want to have happen, or see what happens first, and I think it would have significant impact on the discussion. So, but that, Rob, the IT stuff, did we say that for the next meeting? Or did you have any major ideas, I guess?
Well, Benchmark was at Public Works the other day, and I asked them about the speed. They were going to check into that, and I had to leave, go handle something else. And Tori said that she didn't hear anything from him. So I'm going to reach out to him and get an answer on that. We're pulling the existing contract we have now, kind of just see what's there. I probably need to get with you, if you're willing to.
Sure.
Give you a little guidance.
Sure. Cool. That's all I have.
Ms. Puckett?
Nothing tonight, sure.
Mr. Garrett? Thank you, sir. Ms. Allen?
Yes, so I know you got a lot you've been doing, and I appreciate everything you do, and I want to throw some things at you. When you have some downtime. So I wanted to see about the grants for the Safe Way to School for that Highland Avenue. I know we're out of school now, but those kids walk up and down that sidewalk, and I don't know what the deadline is for grants. Just, if it's not a potential thing we can apply for, then I'll quit talking about it and we can move on. Another thing, I'm just going to ask for support of the council. I don't even know how to go about doing this. I would love to see a crosswalk from Jamerson's to the middle school, from Confederate to Church Street, because I walk that street with my baby and it is a mess to cross that street. I walk at lunchtime, there's several people walking there. We've got 2 vision impaired residents in Appomattox that cross there every evening when I'm crossing there, or give or take. You've got children whose parents work on Confederate and they walk from the middle school. I mean, it would be used. I mentioned it to the guys cleaning the VDOT guys cleaning the lights, and I don't know what else, who I know it's not a town issue, but as a town resident and the people that we serve, I would just like to see an email sent or something on behalf of us.
Jane, they put with the smart scale, they put the buttons on the poles
At Dairy Queen.
at Dairy Queen as part of the smart scale. I'm wondering if something like that would not work.
It would be amazing.
And you could, poke the button and you have the little man walking.
And it beeps.
The
And
little emoji walking or stop or whatever.
Or just to put some kind of cross there, just because, I may not
Stop
always walk in
pedestrian
town, but all they can say is no.
Yeah.
But I feel like if it comes from the town of Appomattox, maybe it'll carry more weight than a citizen asking about it.
So maybe that would be something we could ask VDOT for.
Yeah, however we do it.
Or if it's feasible.
Yeah, I don't know how you do it, but I would like to see
Reach out to
something said to
our
them.
engineer and ask him.
And then if anything, we would just have a documented trail of, hey, we've asked,
Yeah, that's a rough.
Because
place
I
right
mean,
there.
and I'm sure the one at Dairy Queen will eventually get used when things,
I've seen people using
Yeah,
it,
so.
but not that many.
it doesn't hurt to ask, so.
Yeah.
That's it, that's all I got.
Does anyone else have any business come before the council at this time?
You skipped.
Oh, Mr.
council.
Boyce. I'm losing my alphabetical order. I'm sorry, sir.
Mr. Boyce, you already got
Mr.
your
Boyce,
side.
I'm sorry. Please.
Well, I almost didn't have something,
But now he does.
but
I'm glad we were able to jar your recollection.
let's go back to Lee Grant Avenue. Since the increase in use of the traffic, and since I've been having to go through there more often, there's quite a few little chuck holes that need some attention.
Yes.
And I don't know if that's something that Public Works can do. I mean, it's our street. If you ask VDOT, they're gonna tell you it's your street, you fix it.
We put a proposal out for that.
But, we need to do something.
Sidewalk and pavement to her property.
Yeah, well,
Down Lee Grant and down Park Street.
Was that executed, was that just a proposal, or do you have an executed contract?
It's just a proposal.
Okay, because we did authorize that by, that's in the minutes we just approved as a action to explore it and to get engineering done. So I guess we would need someone to award that. I'd imagine it's lower, it should be awardable without a council action, I would think.
well, this is just something to fill them in.
Yeah.
I mean, good grief.
Yeah, and the people are going fast. I mean, it's busy.
It's a speedway, for sure.
They slow down when we come through in the school buses. Yes, that's about it.
Hopefully before they get in somebody's yard.
Yes,
But that's all I had, seriously, though. Thank you.
appreciate that, Jim. Let's try this again. Does anyone else have any business come before the town council at this time? From the floor?
Mr. Jones.
Yes, sir.
I've got one piece of tourism news. I don't know whether you all know about it or not. On the 4th of July, on the 5th of July, the Virginia State Dixie Youth League softball and baseball tournament is being held right here in Appomattox. They're bringing 12 teams, approximately 300 kids and coaches, and who knows how many parents and grandparents and cousins and uncles and whoever else.
Yeah.
But the tournament runs from the 5th through the 11th. So if you see a whole bunch of people, you'll know why. It's the first time that tournament's ever been held here. I didn't find out about it until last week. In fact, it's been a secret up until last
And
week.
that's gonna be at the police tower road?
It's going to be, they're going to use every field we have
Okay.
in Appomattox. First game is on the 5th. There will be a lot of in-state people. The state tournament this year for these same group of kids is in Hopewell. So it'll all be within a couple hours.
So is this a state tournament or a regional?
This is a state tournament that's coming here.
It's for baseball or softball?
Baseball and softball, youth
Okay.
leagues, the Dixie Youth Leagues.
Was there any
Restaurants
way
will be
we
busy.
could notify our restaurants and eateries that this potential,
We're working on it.
okay.
Thank you, sir.
Like I said,
mean,
there
it
will
might
be,
be awesome.
I will tell you this, there will be goodie bags. There'll be 2 sets of goodie bags passed out at the sign-ups and sign-ins, the goodie bags for the kids and goodie bags for the coaches and all. And we're currently working with them to put those goodie bags together. Hopefully, they're also, the Appomattox Youth Leagues are also working on this as well, gathering coupons.
Yeah.
I would say like for McDonald's or Hardee's or whatever,
Yeah.
ever who wants to contribute, $5 off or whatever.
That's up to the businesses,
The
but they are being contacted. I just thought I would share that with you from a tourism standpoint.
Exciting news.
Not, that you did not know. The first game is on the evening of the 5th. I think it's a double elimination tournament, but it will be played through about the 11th. So they'll be here almost a week.
That's exciting news for this town.
It is,
In town.
Thank you
Yeah.
for all you've done on that, Don. I know you've worked hard.
yeah.
You did.
Yeah, we've been working with Brian Simpson, who was the Youth League, Appomattox Youth League president. So that's all I can tell you, because that's all I know.
I appreciate that.
Thanks for letting us
Always,
know.
it's always good to see us hosting such an event. I've been to a few at other locations. It sounds like a very good thing for us, for our community.
Is that something you'd like us to add to the Facebook page?
Please, sir. And or
idea.
website as appropriate.
Were we going to discuss the town manager
Did you have something to present, Nicole? Did you want to present these to us?
I submitted a written proposal and then a proposal from GovHR as well as strategic government resources. So in reviewing the accident made director, the executive search firm identified 5 potential firms to explore that had a Virginia footprint. Management Partners is now part of Baker Tilly, so I contacted 4 firms and the 2 firms
Do you have a preference as to which one we do with?
and we also have the Berkeley group too. Not without your input.
I need to speak with you later about something about that,
About
about the,
Roger that.
yeah, within that same realm about searching for the,
Okay.
I know we want to be expeditious in getting this done, but this may be something where we go back through and look at the proposals, come back at the workshop meeting and make a decision based on that. I'll entail y'all to provide us any other input on any of the 2 key positions we're looking for right now as it becomes available to y'all to bring it to the council. We'll figure that out. Even if I have to come by one morning and pick it up and take it to each one of them, hand delivered.
Is there any update on the clerk, the position?
What is their status on their clerk?
The applicant starts July 1st.
July the 1. All right.
And then in your packet, you should find a Public Works Director draft job description. So once that job description is approved, Rob has the requisition form, it would be able to post that.
Is non-exempt, so a non-exempt position would be eligible for overtime?
Correct.
I'm just curious about, so you think it's best for us to keep the Public Works Director in a position where they clock in, clock out?
Your philosophy has been everyone's non-exempt with the exception of the town manager. I don't agree that's the best philosophy, but that is in line with the town's current philosophy.
I would encourage your philosophy for that position.
I agree with that.
I mean,
It's time and a half at,
I believe, that there should be a compensation study, but your executive level positions should all be exempt, but they should be compensated accordingly to market.
Yes, well, and that's why we hired you. Now,
Well, could we ask you to tell us what at another meeting, perhaps you tell us what you think we should do?
What would
so
be the
that we can-
wisest?
So I can tell you what I think. I mean, you
Okay.
can take it or leave it.
Have you had the opportunity to look at all our positions within the town and infrastructure of personnel?
So I have reviewed them at a very high level and looked at our organization chart, and so it's unclear to me which one's kind of in, which one is we're using. There's a 2017 one and a newer one, but my understanding is that one may not have been adopted. So, I mean, yes, I do believe your executive level positions should be, I mean, and I've run some reports, particularly looking at this position, the amount of overtime we were paying, you may be surprised. And it would just make sense to make it exempt, but pay at market value. Of what I put on for the range, I believe was between 90 to 110, which is in line for market and for a rural area.
I mean, I don't think we'd be surprised. I mean, I'm not. I understood. I'm sure Timmy
We were having
and
things.
Claudia, the older folks on the council, how much it was costing us, but I'm open to hearing a
I mean,
different,
I ran the numbers.
It might.
taking it in a different direction.
Let me sit back.
Yeah.
we don't want to do that again. How about that?
Yeah.
And we don't want to put you on the spot this evening, so if you want to just address some of this, maybe the next meeting or something, tell us your
I mean,
thinking.
I'm a type A, so like.
She's ready. You're ready.
I ran it, I have it, but, I can put it in Excel format and so you can see it year to year.
Yes.
Because some years,
Right.
there's medical reasons, there may not
Right.
show as much, but.
And you just tell us what you think what you would like to see us do,
Yes.
because
I mean,
we'll have to depend on you.
I would like, to get the job description approved and start getting
Okay.
And then your recommendations
Yeah.
and the reasoning behind your recommendations, and that, something that would make sense to us so that we could move on that as quickly as possible. We need to be able to fill our positions.
And you know exactly what I'm about to say, because this is what you do every day, but I guess just for clarity's sake, a responsibility study, I guess, on this Public Works Director position, is it structured, has it historically been structured the right way? Should it be split up? If so, how? Who's in charge? Those types of things we're looking to update.
And, you know, I don't know if you've had a chance to review my report, but under the Public Works leadership, I talked about reasons that I believe that you don't even have a Public Works Director. You have a Utilities and Facilities Director. It needs to be reclassed to a Director of Public Works. And I've outlined all those reasons. And then this job description encompasses the knowledge, skills, and abilities for a competent Director of Public Works.
All right, thank you, ma'am. I
This
think
is
that
great.
will hit us, we're heading in the right direction.
Yes, we are, and we're in the middle of changing things, and we want to do
Yes.
everything as quick.
It'd be nice to get it cleaned up.
Yes,
You've done right.
Okay.
Yeah.
now's the time to do it.
I got one item, and then I'll turn it over. We have a Town Council Rules and Procedures that were previously adopted. I believe this is how this is being presented. And we'll look at the items we obtained from Berkeley Group during our training, and hopefully we can come together at the workshop meeting with a final rules of procedure for operation of the meetings and the council moving forward. And we will have the strategy session sometime in July. It may be just a quick meeting before or after the regular one of the regular ones. And then we will also do one after the election to allow the new council to make their decisions. And it's my wish that we have the same council, but I do not control the electorate. I do appreciate their input. And I appreciate y'all's as far as this council is moving forward.
Not all of us on council are up for election in November.
Yes.
3 of us are. So we don't know. for elected
Yep,
officials.
we will see.
We can be voted out. I hope not.
Yep. Anywho's. Any other comments? With that,
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
motion made, properly seconded for the adjournment of this meeting. All in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed, no. Ayes have it, motion carries. Thank you all for coming out tonight.
Go home and play with your baby, Jane.